Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Trev and Lev Show right here on YouTube.com, where we're talking SEC, Tennessee, and everything CFB. I'm Trev. He's Lev. Thank you for tuning in. And today we're talking week 8 or week 9. One of those. One of
I
those
think
two.
it's week 9. I
I think it's
think.
week 9. Week 9 of college football. We're talking games, we're talking playoff projections, and we're talking Brian Kelly out as the LSU head coach. That's coming up at the end of the show here. First game we kind of want to get into here is Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Ole Miss walking away with a 26-14 victory at Oklahoma. Huge win for Lane Kiffin and his Rebels. So kind of getting into this one, I was pretty impressed by Ole Miss's speed on offense. And their good protection. They actually performed really well against this elite Oklahoma defensive line. And sorry, correction, 34-26. We're on the wrong year there.
Yeah, I don't know what. I was seeing the Jackson Arnold on there. I was like, wait a second, is this glitched?
Yeah,
That's my
we were on
bad.
the wrong year there.
That's my bad.
34-26, Ole Miss with the victory. Um, very impressed with Ole Miss here. Kind of, they got it done. I think they should have won last week at Georgia. Uh, big two road game stretch. Huge win for them. And I think the biggest takeaway from this one is kind of like I think you kind of start penciling them in the playoffs. Um, Sitting at 7-1, they can afford another loss, and they still have a chance to make it to the SEC championship game. A softer schedule here on the back half. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was impressed. I was impressed with Ole Miss's defense. I thought they played well enough to win. Obviously, they won, but yeah, I don't know. Mateer Mateer kind of had a disappointing day, in my opinion. A little bit inaccurate with the football at times, and I think Oklahoma just relies too much on him to make plays, and he just presses way too much. That causes him to make turnovers. Didn't make one this one, but they don't have a run game. They really don't have a run game to for him to rely on. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was impressed with their speed at receiver, but I overall was not impressed with their offense. Um, Yeah, I don't know, but really what saved them in this game, what made it so close is I think they had two big pass plays that really kept them in this one.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed. I don't know about you, Lee, but I'm really impressed with this Ole Miss team. I think it's probably the best under Lane Kiffin so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're looking pretty good for the playoffs right now. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what they have left on their schedule. Um, to me, it looks like they're probably a lock for the playoffs. Looking, barring any absolute train wreck last 4 games of this season. I just seems like it's the lock. I mean, South Carolina is not good.
South
Um,
Carolina, the Citadel, Florida,
Citadel,
all
yeah, Florida. I mean, these aren't tough games. Really, the toughest game left on their schedules versus Florida, and I mean,
I
it's
would say at Mississippi State just because it's a rivalry game, but you know how bad, we'll get into this a little bit later, how bad they blow leads and how bad they should win games and just
yeah,
don't. Yeah, I think you could start not even penciling them. I think you can start sharpening them into that playoff spot there. I think we got South Carolina, Alabama up next. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
29-22. Alabama with a miraculous win in Columbia there. Needed a South Carolina fumble in their own territory to come away with that one. I mean, what South Carolina sold this game, obviously. Should have won this one. We're up the whole. There was, you get in a lot of games. Like Tennessee has gotten into games like this before. Even you can even compare South Carolina when we played them in 2022. it just like stuff starts going wrong for the other team. Like they make uncharacteristic mistakes, turnovers, just weird things start happening. You're like, this is shaping up to be an upset. Like this is, that nothing is going right for the favorite here.
Hmm.
That's exactly what this game was going like. And then South Carolina is so bad that they're the ones that make the mistakes at the end, and it costs them the game.
This is just one of those classic losers lose game. Um, the loser was always going to lose, and it was always going to be their fault that they lost. Um, that's just what this was. Alabama did not have a good game in Columbia, um, but they were always going to win because they weren't going to make stupid mistakes at the end of the game like South Carolina did. It's just that's just how it
South
went.
Carolina missed so many opportunities. They in the first half they could have put this one two field goals in the first half. They could have been up like 14-7 or 14. They could have been tied 14-14 at the end of the half. They just made so many mistakes, couldn't capitalize on opportunities, couldn't score points when they needed to. And one thing I was impressed with South Carolina though was just the ability that they were able to get pressure on Ty Simpson. It's not something that Tennessee was able to do last week. And under pressure, he's not great. Um, I don't know. They were also able to limit Alabama's long drives. Like against Tennessee, Alabama had those really long drives that just they held the ball for so long, scored touchdowns on, right? South Carolina was able to limit those. Yeah, and then they just sold.
Did you
They
see
just
that
sold the game.
that one play where the South Carolina defensive player does not look like he even tries to tackle the
That
Alabama
was on
player?
purpose. That was on purpose.
Why?
Yeah.
So they're just letting him score.
There's like a minute left in the game. They're letting him score so that they can get the ball back with a chance to tie it. Um, and the Alabama guy is actually just dumb and doesn't realize it, and he just scores. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bama just didn't look. They didn't make any big plays. They had turnovers. They looked undisciplined. They had low time of possession compared to the last few games. They had huge drops. Ryan Williams had really bad drops in this one. I don't know. They didn't look great, but it's kind of to be expected at the end of a four-game stretch where you play four ranked teams in a row, two of them on the road.
yeah,
So, I mean, they're going into a bye week, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean they're fine, but I mean
yeah.
they really they almost lost this one. Missouri and Vandy. Uh, Vandy looked very beatable this game. Missouri just wasn't able to capitalize on any opportunities. I mean, I think they had multiple red zone possessions where they got 0 points. You're not going to win games like that. You see the big play on the screen there from Vanderbilt. They had one of those this game, and that's all they needed to win. They just needed one big play to win. I mean, they've been known for gash plays this season, uh, and like I said, they only got one, and that's all they needed. Um, I mean, I was pretty impressed with Missouri's defense. Their defensive line shut down Pavia, shut down this run game. They just happened to get gashed. Honestly, like Pribula, Missouri's quarterback, gets hurt in this one. If he doesn't, they probably win, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They're very teams and they're both good teams.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Pavi is a little arrogant, though. I think I don't know, it's one of these situations where his team's winning and his team's playing really good, and he's had a good season, but I just, I just think it's really unlikable for him to be like, yeah, I deserve to be the Heisman after having a game where he's 10 of 19 for one interception and a fat zero touchdowns. Yeah, that's how those are
Yeah.
Heisman numbers. No, they are not. They are not Heisman numbers. You do
This is
not
a
deserve
college
the
game
Heisman.
too. Like
Diego
everybody was
Pavia,
watching.
if if the voting is done right, Diego Pavia will not even sniff a Heisman trophy. He does not deserve to win the Heisman. He has had a good season, but he's nowhere near to being the best quarterback in the country. I
Yeah, I would agree with that. completely. I mean, he does what they need him to do well. Um, but they don't ask a lot
Yeah,
of
and I
him
mean
in the past
that's not
game.
what a Heisman winner is not just a guy who game manages and
Mhm,
wins games. It's a guy who's putting up stats and winning games. Um,
mhm.
it's not just, oh, our team won. Uh, let's give a Heisman to a team a team that's never won before, but they're winning now. Let's give them the Heisman just because it's a cool story. That's not how the Heisman should work. And if it is, the Heisman's a joke. I already think the Heisman's a joke, but if for whatever in whatever world where Diego Pavia wins the Heisman is even more of a joke than we ever thought, and
Yeah,
it is an unserious award if that happens, and it should never be looked at as a serious award ever again if Diego Pavia wins. And this is no hate on Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt is a good team. Diego
they're a
Pavia
good team.
is a good quarterback. He's not the Heisman winner. He is not, and I just think that needs to be said and put out there. But yeah,
Yeah, I'd agree. I agree completely. Um, what you got on what'd you say earlier? Losers lose?
yeah. Do you think is that a transition to the next one?
That is a transition to Mississippi State and Texas. Mississippi State, what did they blow? 17-point lead, I think.
Shout out to my school, East Tennessee State University, for doing the same thing last week to their big rival Chattanooga. Basically the exact same thing, 17-point lead, blow it in the fourth quarter, and the other team wins. So, as a ETSU student, I know how Mississippi State feels. Losers lose, and my school
They
is no
somehow
different than that.
somehow they turned Texas into an offensive juggernaut, and they haven't been good all season.
Nope.
You see Ryan Wingo there, 5 receptions, 184 yards.
Yep.
He had 3 drop passes and still and still had 184 yards. Oh man, it was one of my notes on this game is just Shapen sucks. Shapen sucks. All right, I mean, big day for Shapen. All right, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns. He can't make big. He can't make plays when they need him to make plays, man. He's the reason why they lose games. And
He has no
yeah,
clutch.
zero clutch. Mississippi State continues to lose.
I just think
They just
bad game management from the coach too at the end. I think he's done an excellent job and he's put Mississippi State in situations where they could win games. They've been close in a lot of games, but they don't finish, and I think that has a lot to do with the coaching. I think he's pushing Mississippi State in a somewhat right direction, but it's a bad look to get this close and just not finish.
if you think Heupel is bad, then well, I mean, what are you even talking about? Like this guy is the worst game manager out there, right? I mean, dang, he's worse than Cristobal, which is really hard to do at Miami. And
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the box score here too, I mean, what Texas has 14 points in the first half, 24 points in the fourth quarter, turned it
that's
into a
bad.
shootout.
That
Mississippi State couldn't keep up.
that's
Uh,
like that's so bad. 24 points in one quarter is that
and
like
they had 24 straight points to win the game. So, yeah,
that's
24
a
straight points.
choke. That is such a bad choke. That's where that's none of you know anything about ETSU, but when I was told about ETSU's loss to Chattanooga, that's very similar to this. I was like laughing. I mean, like, that's bad. This is way worse. This is
This
way
is what
worse.
when you
Um,
come so close to being Florida, you should have beaten Tennessee. You should have beaten. I mean, yeah, you should have beaten Florida. You should have beaten Tennessee. You should have beaten Texas.
it's just becoming laughable at this point. The Mississippi State is finding ways to lose as SEC games. They have the longest streak for SEC losses right now. I think it's been years since they've won an SEC game, and it just continues.
2 or 3
And
seasons.
I don't know.
I think it was
I want to look at their schedule and see who they have left. They have Arkansas. Arkansas. They need a win next week.
game of the
This is
game of
going
the
to
week.
be the trash can bowl uh, of the SEC. I
There will
think
be 100 points in this game.
the Goober Bowl. Let's call it the
The
Goober
Goober,
Bowl. Um,
100 points in that game right there.
let's just say we will be watching that. That will be must-watch television for the gooberness that will be going on in that game. I don't know who's gonna win. It's a battle of who chokes, who will choke harder, Mississippi
Petrino
State or
versus
Arkansas.
Lev. That should be college game day.
The choke. It's a choke off.
So Auburn and Arkansas. What'd you say earlier, Levi? Losers lose.
Yep. Oh, it's did it
Wrong,
again. Why?
wrong
I,
season.
why did it? Okay, so when I got all these games set up, I looked them up, and I just like set up. It's late. I'm tired. I just
Losers.
assumed they would be the right year, but I guess not.
So,
Sorry.
Taylor Green sold this game, big time. 3 interceptions, all at really opportune times, all really bad interceptions. Arkansas had a defensive touchdown in this one, so they only scored 17 points offensively. Um, I know Ashton Daniels doesn't have a great stat line here. Um, he's the reason why they won though. Uh, like that QB change that finally Hugh Freeze decides to make a QB change for. I don't know why he waited this long because Ashton Daniels actually hit a couple like deep passes. They have great receivers. You can see on the screen this pick six right here. Horrible. This is why he got benched. Terrible throw. Yeah. I mean, this was like the crap bowl, and somehow Auburn wins it. So okay, good on them for getting a SEC win.
Yeah,
Hugh
look at
Freeze is
the.
gone. Freeze is gone though, man. I mean,
Yeah, I don't. Both both these coaches are gone. I mean, I know one of them's an interim coach, but old Bobby Petrino lamented the fact that he will not be coaching Arkansas next year after this
and
one.
yeah, that is good for Arkansas.
Yeah.
That is good news for Arkansas. Not much about this game, honestly. Just both teams are terrible. So,
Yep.
yep. I think that was the last game we got. No, we have one more. Texas A&M, LSU. Brian Kelly's last game as a Tiger.
All Tigers.
Uh, A&M is a good football team.
Yep.
And
Um.
guess what? They were losing at halftime.
And
Losing at
we'll.
halftime. 35-point second half to win this one.
They may or may not be the new number one team in the SEC, in my opinion.
Tune in to the SEC Power Ranking show
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
To know for sure, because I can neither confirm nor deny that. So you won't know until you watch that video.
You will not know, but maybe they will be.
Maybe Vanderbilt will be number one. You never know.
Diego Pavia, Heisman.
Yep.
Not much about this game for me. I don't know. Marcel Reed threw 2 interceptions. Really bad interceptions, actually. Threw one in the end zone. So that's also crazy. So near the end of the half there, he throws an interception in the end zone. I mean, A&M made some really bad first half mistakes, and they still won by, what, 24 points?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't even think this
crazy.
is like an I don't think this is like an LSU is really bad situation. They are not great. I think this is an A&M is like the
Legit.
closest thing we have to elite in the SEC, right? I mean, in a season where there's no like elite teams compared to past years, this is
Well, they're also getting better each week.
uh, I know. It's crazy. It's pretty wild and Marcel Reed is just having a great season. So, good for him. He's a great player.
I think I think this game might be a good segue to talk about coaching carousel and Brian Kelly.
Yeah, let's get straight into it here. Brian Kelly, Sunday night firing. Levi, did you see that video of him talking to the AD on the way out of the game?
No,
Yeah,
I did
well,
not.
if you happen to see that video, you know the video I'm talking about. Um, he had a very serious conversation with the AD as he was leaving the field. And I think he kind of knew at that point, if you didn't already know before, his time was up. Uh, I mean, let's talk real quick. What did he accomplish at LSU? A Heisman winner?
That's it. That's it. They did nothing.
They didn't make the playoffs, right?
No, never once. And this is
What,
this is
what did he say? What did
I
he
th-
say at his press conference? His opening press conference. Do you remember? I left Notre Dame to come and win to come to a school where I have a chance to win a national championship.
and the thing that's crazy about it is LSU might be one of the easiest places to win a national championship because follow me here, if I'm not mistaken, which I could be, before Brian Kelly, the last three coaches at LSU, which I could be wrong because I don't know who their coach was after Nick Saban. I don't know if it was Les Miles or they had somebody in between Les
It
Miles and
was Les
Saban.
Miles.
The last three coaches at LSU won a national
Is that
championship.
are we missing somebody? Ed
If
Orgeron.
if they went from Nick Saban to Les Miles, then Les Miles to Ed Orgeron,
Is that what happened?
the last three national champion or the last three coaches all won a national championship.
Crazy.
And
That's
let's be
crazy.
honest, Les Miles and Ed Orgeron are not great coaches. They are just not. They're pretty mid. I mean, Nick Saban's probably the greatest college coach of all time, so I mean, it makes sense he would win a
Yeah,
national
you're
championship
right.
there.
That's
Brian Kelly is the first coach out of he's the only coach of the last four coaches to not win a natty at LSU.
come close.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. So honestly,
That's very,
that's why, in my opinion, LSU is probably the best open job. I just think, I think because I think it's in a really good spot. It's in like the middle of Texas. It's near Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. You can get some Alabama's people and like Missouri and Arkansas and Mississippi. You got a lot of states to get talent from. On top of the fact that Louisiana has no other big schools, it is LSU is the only big school in Louisiana. Like you are not you are not going to be losing recruits to Tulane and Louisiana Tech. Those two schools are not going to be stealing recruits from you. You will if you want a player that's between LSU and Tulane or Louisiana Tech, they're going to LSU. It's just that's just the fact of the matter. Everybody in Louisiana is an LSU fan. Um, so they just have their pickings of LSU talent, and then Texas they can get take from Texas and they can take from Florida. It is a very easy place to recruit, and it's just the entire state is behind the university. There's no most people who live in Louisiana are LSU fans, whether they went to LSU or not. And so I just think it makes it a really easy place to win. And that's why I think it's going to be the biggest job opening, personally. And that's
yeah,
why I
it's
think
between that and Florida. It's like LSU, Florida, Penn State, right?
I just think
And
Florida is a worse job because there is so much competition in the state of Florida. And I also think there's higher the expectations at Florida and LSU are very similar. LSU might be slightly higher because they've won a national championship more recently, but the thing with Florida is they're in a worse position than LSU. Like LSU is
yeah,
firing a
yeah.
coach that probably at the end of the season would have them at like 7 or 8 wins, um,
Mm.
which is not
No, he did. He
good.
never even reached. He never. I think he reached seven in a ball game win, but he in the regular season he never won more than 6 games.
Oh, he didn't.
And Brian Kelly's won like nine, eight,
Oh
nine
yeah,
games.
I thought you were talking about Brian Kelly. I thought he won more games than that.
I'll talk about Napier.
Yeah. So I think LSU's in a better position right now, too.
It is.
And the thing with Penn State, I think Penn State's a good job. I don't know. I think LSU's a better job because they've won a national championship more recently. So I don't know. I think
Yeah, second $50 million buyout we've seen this year. Crazy, like crazy. Mid-season.
I think
Um,
LSU tries to get Kiffin to come over.
yeah, I think I was gonna talk about that next. Is head coaching candidates. We kind of talked about this actually before the news broke. We were talking about this earlier. Um, is it Lane Kiffin or bust? You were kind of mentioning also like you need to have a head coach in mind when you fire someone. At a school of this caliber, you need to have someone in mind. You can't just go fire somebody. Is Lane Kiffin that guy? Because I think he is, and I think he will.
But
I
I
would
think
be kind of surprised if he doesn't jump to LSU.
something interesting to look at though is Lane Kiffin says after the Oklahoma Ole Miss game, "I'm staying at Ole Miss." Is he telling the truth? Is he not?
He has lied plenty of times
I'm not.
before.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying it'll be curious.
He
I'm
did tell
curious to
this.
see.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
didn't know yesterday this was going to open.
I think he. I think he was gonna stay at home. I don't think he was gonna go to Florida. I don't. I just think
Right.
there's just too much uncertainty at Florida. They're trying to win. They are really, really, really. They really need a winning program more than LSU does because LSU is what 6 years removed from a national championship, while Florida is probably 20 years. I don't know, not 20. How long has it been since they won a natty?
15,
15,
15.
16. Um, so
Yeah,
they're itching for a winning season or a winning team more than LSU is, and I think Ole Miss is maybe not a place that he could win a national championship at,
it
but it's a
is.
lot safer of a job I think than Florida. And so I think he was waiting for the big, big job. And I think LSU is that big, big job that he's waiting for and he wants
If
and he'll take.
LSU is able to hire Kiffin, they will win a national championship during his tenure.
It's very
I believe.
likely.
I truly believe that. I think he's a really good head coach. They've had like some of the top portal classes at Ole Miss the past 2 or 3 seasons. I think he could recruit really well high school wise in that area, like you already mentioned. Pair that with, the ability to obtain even better players through the portal because of just the brand itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see why he can't. I don't see why he can't win a national championship during his tenure there. If he, I mean, we're assuming. I would just be surprised if they don't get Kiffin. Like who, what's another candidate you can think of here?
I
Not
mean,
James Franklin.
I don't know.
Not
Kiffin's who
James.
they're going for first. Um, I think.
It's got to be Kiffin. They're
Uh,
not going to get Signetti. He just signed an extension.
Nick Saban.
And I don't think that you
He's been there before. Going back. No, that's not happening.
or
I
get
think
Ed
Nick Saban.
Orgeron.
No, that'd be a horrible hire.
They're
Ed
not
or
going to go G6. They're
no,
not going to go G6. There's no
no,
way you go G6
they're gonna go. The problem, I think, the biggest
unless
problem this
it's St.
offseason.
John's.
What?
The only G6 coach I could see them hiring is John Summerall from Tulane.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's in state. I think I could see.
I think gonna be the hard thing about this coaching search is there are not a lot of great candidates, but there are a lot of teams who
Matt
need
Campbell.
coaches. Maybe, but I think this could be one of those off seasons where a lot of teams are gonna be searching for a while,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna keep. They're either gonna be they're not gonna know who to hire, or they're gonna go to these coaches who are already at schools, and they're gonna
A lot
get
of
turned down.
these coaches are gonna probably. These schools are probably gonna have to hire eventually. Like you said, a lot of high caliber jobs out there right now. Probably gonna have to end up hiring a lot of coordinators, is what I'm gonna assume. And I think only a couple schools are gonna get their top guy.
Yeah.
I don't think every school's gonna hit a home run, get a home run right here with a hire.
And
You know,
that's the problem with
I
preemptively
got
firing your
got
coach.
True. I think at the same time, it's like you're putting your name out there, though, right? Like what, like Penn State did it. We're like, oh, this is the best job on the market. Florida does it. This is the best job on the market. LSU does it. This is the best job on the market. You know what I'm saying? Like you're putting
Yeah.
your school out.
I think the
Like,
problem with preemptively firing your coach though, so in one instance you're tired of mid seasons uh or bad seasons, But when you fire your coach and then you hire somebody who ends up also being bad, you've set yourself up to be behind another 3 to 4 years, um, because you're not going to fire a coach in year 1 or 2. That just generally doesn't happen unless year 2 is just the worst season ever. A coach is going to be there another 3 years. So that puts you behind another 3 years. So, in my opinion, I think teams really need to just start keeping bad coaches or mid coaches for a little bit longer and doing their due diligence behind the scenes and being like, okay, is this coach gonna be? Can we get this guy? Let's talk to this guy and just be looking for a coach, because then you fire him, you don't have anything set up, and then you go through this. This is what happened to Tennessee, where they when they were going through really bad coaches, they would go to all these good coaches and they would get turned down, and they would just keep going down the list and just kept getting worse, and then they'd end up hiring somebody who sucked and was there for another 3 to 4 to 5 years, and then Tennessee's behind for another 3 to 4 to 5 years. So I think that's going to be, some of these teams are going to make that mistake. And I don't
Yeah,
think LSU will be one. I could see Florida doing it again. I
I
hope
could too.
so. Uh,
Yeah,
Not going to lie, would love Florida to have another bad hire.
yeah.
Penn State,
They've got That's one of those teams that they've got to get it right, or you're right, or like you said, they're on a terrible downward spiral here. And hear me out. Just and as a little alternative here, don't extend your coaches after one good season.
I think
Why
teams need to
why
really
do you
stop doing that. Yeah.
why are you paying Brian Kelly $50 million? What did he do? What did he do?
Who
He
knows? I don't even know if they know.
You know what's sad about the Heisman season? You didn't have anything to show for it.
No.
How many how many top receivers in the NFL? What did he have? He had Malik Neighbors. Um, man, he had a couple more. I can't even think of them right now. He had a lot of top Brian Thomas Jr. A lot of top receivers. Heisman quarterback. Nothing to show for it. Huge extension. Now you got to waste $50 million before you even hire your next coach.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think,
wrapping that up.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
teams need to really stop doing that. Kind of just
That's downfall of
realize
that.
that they coaches one good season, like consistent. Maybe give them a little bit of an extension, give them a little bit, but they just go crazy with it. They're like,
Yeah.
let's give them the whole bank and let them, basically they're locked in, and we're the only ones who get screwed here because they're not gonna quit. These coaches are not gonna quit. If they get hired somewhere else, that school is gonna pay it. These coaches have nothing to lose. It's just the university that has everything to lose in these situations, and it's just, they're just being stupid. Um,
It just Yeah, I mean, you saw it's kind of started with Jimbo Fisher a few years ago at Texas A&M. He had like $100 million contract or something, $100 million contract or something like that.
yeah.
I mean, and he did nothing at Texas A&M. So yeah, kind of moving on here. We got a little playoff talk, a little playoff projection here, wrapping up the show. This is a model projection from Bud Elliott, who is a college football analyst with CBS Sports. He also is a co-host of the Cover Three podcast. I think it's the number one college football podcast in America. Again, this is a model projection. This isn't his projection. Uh, it kind of runs a simulation similar to what Josh Pate does with his power. I think it's his power ratings, not rankings. And that's kind of misunderstood. But yeah, kind of getting into this a little bit. I don't agree with it. I kind of want to talk about it. This is what the model projects. Again, this isn't his projection. Ohio State, Texas A&M, Indiana, Alabama with all buys. So that this kind of tells you here they have Ohio State winning the Big Ten championship, Texas A&M winning the SEC championship. Levi, your thoughts on this? I kind of want to say like I agree. I think that they'll have two Big Ten teams, and I think they'll have two SEC teams taking the buys. I don't think another conference is going to get a first round bye this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be these 4 teams if the seasons play out, because I mean, these are probably the SEC championship teams and the Big Ten championship team. So I mean
It
that makes
sucks for
sense.
it only sucks for like meaning of conference champions in my conference championships,
Yeah,
right? But like these are the best four teams in the country right now, and if these are the championships, this is what it's going to be, I think.
yeah. This makes me a little. Looking at this makes me nervous for Tennessee. Even the fact that even them winning out, uh,
Yeah.
honestly, they might not even wouldn't even make it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
really that kind of sucks thinking about it.
You're going to have
Tennessee really needs. Um,
to lose. You're going to need
seems.
Georgia to
I
lose.
think. I think the main thing I disagree with this. I don't think there's going to be two ACC teams. I don't. I just.
Yeah, you got it.
I.
hmm
I don't think Georgia
I
Tech
think
and Miami are making it. Um.
I think you get one Big 12 team, uh one big one Big 12 team, one ACC team. I think you get five SEC teams in,
Yeah.
and I think you only get three Big 10 teams in.
Yeah, and I think if that's the case, Tennessee could be that one in. I'd be
hmm
probably it's probably between like Tennessee, Vanderbilt,
Tennessee,
um,
Texas technically is still alive. Vanderbilt,
Missouri, I guess technically.
I guess technically they're still alive, but I
Um,
think it's really between Vandy and Tennessee because I
yeah,
think
if
Texas.
Tennessee and Vanderbilt went out to their game, it's that's gonna be a play-in game. I feel like, and
Mhm.
Tennessee, while Tennessee and Vanderbilt would have the same record if Tennessee won, just the Tennessee head-to-head over Vanderbilt would give them the nod. Um, I also think Tennessee has a tougher schedule, surprisingly, than Vanderbilt. I thought Tennessee had a pretty easy schedule, but looking at Vanderbilt's schedule, I honestly don't think they have that tough of a schedule.
Yeah, what we know now about LSU, Missouri with a hurt quarterback.
And they had all those
Uh,
teams at home. Alabama is really the only the playing at Alabama has been their only tough game. And I mean,
yep.
it's not much different for Tennessee. Tennessee, all three of their wins right now are against uh, three of the worst teams in the SEC. Um,
Think Vanderbilt goes on the road this week at Texas, so
that'll be interesting if they lose. I think Vanderbilt wins that game. If they lose, they're I don't see them getting into the playoffs.
they have to beat Tennessee to get in.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah, I mean, also I kind of disagree here. I don't think Cincinnati is going to be the Big 12 team. I think
hmm
it's going to be Texas Tech. But see, the thing about the ACC and the Big 12 right now is their best teams um are in a weird spot where they've lost a conference game, so they actually might not even make the championship game, right?
yeah, and
Especially
I
in the
don't think
ACC, it's
I think
get really weird right now.
I think these conferences should be treated like if you don't make your conference championship,
They're not gonna make
you do not deserve to be in the playoffs.
it.
It's
Yeah.
just your conference is not good enough for you to not make the championship and be put in the playoffs. I don't think it's fair. And I know people are going to say SEC bias, Big 10 bias, but you cannot look at the ACC and the Big 12 and tell me they are comparable to the Big 10 and the SEC. It's just not comparable. Uh,
Mhm.
it's just not.
The way that this model has it written out right now, I think you can kind of assume is they have Miami and Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game. They're gonna what they're projecting probably is an 11-1 Miami with a win over an 11-1 Georgia Tech in the conference championship, meaning Georgia Tech probably loses to Georgia at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and then they're most likely saying here Miami beats Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game, putting Miami at 12-1 as a 5 seed. Georgia Tech has 11-2 10 seed. My issue with this is I think if Georgia Tech has to win the conference championship to make the playoffs, I don't think an 11-2 Georgia Tech team gets into the playoffs over a 10-2 Vanderbilt, a 10-2 Tennessee.
Or
I genuinely don't think that because you have to start saying what is your best win, And at that point in the season, Tennessee's would be Oklahoma and Vanderbilt if they were to make it.
Yeah, and those be good wins. And then I mean, beating Florida on the road is it's not a great win, but it's a good win. Um,
Yeah.
I think going 10. I mean, and I think the playoff committee has made it known that they respect 10-2 in the SEC and the Big Ten more than 10-2 in any other conference. Personally, I think that's just been cemented. I think they are leaning more towards having um, 4 or 5 SEC and Big Ten teams rather than any other conference having more. And I also think this is very accurate. I think in the sense of I don't think more than 3 Big Ten teams get in. Um, I think
Yeah. Either.
Notre. It's going to be one of those things where it's between Notre Dame and a Big Ten team. Notre Dame wins out
So
there,
yeah,
and
if Notre Dame went, yeah, which sucks because they would only have I think one ranked win, um, which would be against USC if USC stays in the top 25. Um, I think you really hope Notre Dame loses another game though. I think that would help out the SEC a lot. Probably would help out the Big Ten as well. Um, but that would help out a team like Tennessee. If Notre Dame loses another game, they're not going to make it. And the group of six team is really intriguing to me this year because you kind of it's kind of wide open. Obviously, South Florida loses to Memphis, which really sucks for them. I think if South Florida wins that game, they're definitely projected to be in. But this group of six teams is going to have to win their conference championship, right? And I think it's down to a handful of teams. I think it's down to Boise State, Tulane, South Florida, Memphis, and James Madison. I think those are your 5 teams that have a chance. And it's really going to depend on which 11-2 conference champ the committee likes the best.
yeah,
So we'll have to see what their thoughts are on it when the first playoff rankings come out. I think in a little over a week, I
one
believe.
one thing that's interesting. I don't know how they'll fare with the rest of their season, but Navy's undefeated right now.
True.
So I don't know how
True.
they'll finish out, but that's another team that has a chance to get in. Maybe I don't know if
No, you're right.
I don't know who they've played, but I just
So
know I've heard.
they're undefeated. They're currently undefeated. I think they do play South Florida. I think they play South Florida, Memphis, and Notre Dame still.
So they have
So
three games that if they win I honestly if they win all 3 of those games, I think they're
they're
the
a
team,
lot.
and I don't think
Yeah,
they're
they're.
winning all 3 of those games, but
I think there's a chance they lose all 3 and maybe
yeah,
lose to Army, and then and then they
yeah,
they're 8 and
that's very likely. That's probably more like, but they have a good path. They have a good
no, you're
path.
right. You're right. I mean, they definitely do. Yeah, that is definitely another team to include. I would like to see South Florida in it. Just Golish, obviously.
Hmm.
Uh, they play an exciting brand of football, similar to Tennessee, and I think they have. I think that they have the best shot to beat a 5 seed out of all the teams we mentioned. But
Yeah,
yeah, anything else on this?
I don't think so.
So yeah, with that, we'd like to appreciate thank you guys for tuning into this one. Be sure to subscribe to the channel on the road to 100 subs. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a video on this channel that you enjoy. We got lots of content, SEC, Tennessee, and everything, college football. Again, I'm Trev, and he's Lev. This was the Trev and Lev show right here on YouTube. When we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.